But I think it's good, and I think it's important to work on your weaknesses, leverage your partner's strengths, leverage your strengths, and then use your strengths to elevate the other person's weaknesses, and at the end of the day, you'll become a more well-rounded.
Instead of up against other opponents, you're kind of up against your goals.
Yeah.
You're up against what you desire, and whether it's getting married and starting a family, or whether it's creating a business or managing a household, it really needs to be a team effort.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another very special, as always, episode of Next Level University, where we teach you how to level up your life, your love, your health, and your wealth. We hope you enjoyed our latest episode with our new friend, Nicole Raimondi. Today, for episode number 622, we will be talking about love, one quick shift to improve your relationship.
So what's that quick shift?
That quick shift, I can't give it to you right away.
Okay.
I got to set the stage.
Yeah.
So I got to set the stage. So if you're like me, you've been in relationships in the past where you might blame your partner for something. You might say it's their fault that something happened. You might say, why am I the one who has to do this? Why am I the one who has to lead this? Why am I the one who has to have this difficult conversation? Little story time. So yesterday, little Sunday action. Mm-hmm. Kevin's headed to Home Depot.
There you go.
You know what I mean? Make a day of it. Go to Home Depot.
Obviously.
And on my way, I'm thinking to myself, like, why do I have to go to Home Depot? Like, why Taryn could just go to Home Depot. Like, she could just stop on the way home from work. It's not a big deal. Like, I don't know why she can't just stop on the way home from work. Like, why do I have to do it after the gym? And I'm going to look at a car today. It's a whole thing. And I go through Home Depot. It's a pain in the butt. I'm getting boxes because Taryn and I are moving, which I'm very grateful for. Mm-hmm. But when I'm leaving, it's like it's beautiful out. And there's like a bunch of people, and I don't ever see people. And I'm packing the car up with cardboard boxes. I got the sunroof open. I got the windows down on the ride home. And I was like, why was I even thinking that?
Right.
Like, why can't Taryn just do this? Like, what's wrong with me doing it? Like, why can't I just go do it? Why is it a big deal? And in that moment, I was thinking to myself, and this is something we've talked about often, your relationship is a team. It's a team effort.
Right.
So the quick shift is reframe your relationship as a team game. And then this was the other thing that popped in my head. Taryn did all the apartment hunting.
Right.
She did all the calls. Yep. She set up all the payment stuff. Like, she took care of all of that stuff.
Yep.
She was the leadoff hitter, and now I'm coming in to do whatever, right? I'm batting second.
Right.
And I just think it's such an important shift for people, particularly when you get stressed out. Because when you get stressed out, you're looking to blame somebody for something.
Oh, yeah.
Right? And if you're looking to blame somebody for something, you will find a way to blame them. Taryn and I, again, my car crapped the bed, so we went car shopping this weekend. We're looking at a new place. We're talking about some other life decisions down the road, and it's just super overwhelming. There's so much overwhelm. There's so much uncertainty. What are we supposed to do? Well, I know the thing is not to blame one another, and teamwork has really helped us balance that and thrive.
Well, a lot of people who have been married for a long time often say it's a partnership. It's a lot like a team, like a business partnership. And I understand now why, to a greater extent than I ever have, why they feel that way. Emilia and I are very much a team.
Right.
And we have the we and relationship talks and all this awesome stuff going on. And it really is a divide and conquer mentality, just like you and I have at NLU. It's what is the best for the collective good. And I think this is a good relatable analogy as well. Have you ever played Pictionary or Monopoly with teams? And maybe not Monopoly, because I don't know if that's a team game, but have you ever played a board game where it was couples against other couples? It's almost like that. That's kind of how you should approach your relationship. And it's almost like instead of up against other opponents, you're kind of up against your goals. Yeah. You're up against what you desire. And whether it's getting married and starting a family, or whether it's creating a business or managing a household, it really needs to be a team effort. And just like you and I at NLU, it's like you do certain parts of the business, I do other parts of the business, and both of us benefit from both of each other's efforts. And I think that needs to be the way everyone frames their relationship. And I know that's with Emilia and I the way we do.
Yeah, and I think it's super important also to understand your partner's strengths and weaknesses.
Yeah.
Like, there are things that Taryn's just way better. Now, that doesn't mean I can't get better at them and work towards it.
Right.
But I think on a team, you have people who do certain things.
For sure.
Right? If you watch football, the quarterback doesn't punt. It's just not the way it works. The quarterback throws the ball.
Right.
So I think it's important, too, to understand, like, is this something I'm more proficient in? Will I be able to do this quicker? Will it be easier for me to just do this?
Right.
Like, I didn't realize how heavy those packing boxes were.
Right.
We got like 15 of them. They're heavy. Genuinely, like, I had to get a cart. I couldn't just carry them.
No kidding.
So imagine Taryn trying to do that.
Exactly.
Right? So I think it's important. And I think it's also important to have empathy of like, look, take pride in going above and beyond for your partner. Right? I don't want to just meet the standard.
Right.
If you want an extraordinary relationship, that takes extraordinary effort.
Always.
And that takes extraordinary patience, and that takes extraordinary vision and extraordinary communication. It takes everything to be extraordinary. And I think this is a great shift for me, specifically, when I started really thinking of it this way. It's not a competition. It's not about who did what.
No.
Right? It's not. Taryn hates doing the dishes. I do the dishes because I hate it less than she does.
Right.
She does the laundry.
There you go.
Right? Like, it's
team effort.
It's team. I don't care who does what, as long as everything gets done and we're as happy as we can possibly be throughout it. Obviously, there's some things that aren't going to necessarily bring you joy. But very good pivot for me. I've seen a lot of changes when I pivoted this, and I think it's good for the listeners. Ladies and gentlemen, one of the biggest issues for our listeners that we've seen is not everybody has people in their corner trying to lift them to the next level, and even the people who are trying to help don't always know how.
That's why Kevin and I created Next Level Group Coaching. It's a 3-month program on teams of 10 with all people committed to achieving their goals. Click the link in the show notes for more information.
And we only take 10 people at a time, so make sure you get in quick.
Emilia and I are moving as well, and there's a lot that goes into that logistically, and it does make sense to leverage each other's strengths. You lifting heavy things, it makes way more sense for you to do that than Taryn.
Of course.
Because that's leveraging your physical strength. But I think it's like that with everything. Again, even look at what they just did there too. It's like if Taryn doesn't mind laundry but hates the dishes, and Kevin doesn't mind the dishes but hates the laundry, it would be unintelligent not to swap and divide and conquer. Dividing and conquering is a simple concept that's so important to understand. Even on the NLU team, we have certain people doing certain things because they're the ones who are best at it. And I think it's that way in a relationship as well. That's definitely how Emilia and I operate constantly. She's better at the calendar, so every time we schedule, every weekend, she's the one who's moving the calendar around, and I'm the one accepting the events. And then I can modify the events on Google. But even something as simple as that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you can always try to get better. That's the thing,
Right.
is like you don't necessarily... Like, if you're in a relationship, you don't want to be the only person who knows how to drive.
Right.
Right? The other person can learn how to drive. I'm not saying specifically actually drive, but I think it's good, and I think it's important to work on your weaknesses, leverage your partner's strengths, leverage your strengths, and then use your strengths to elevate the other person's weaknesses, and at the end of the day, you'll become a more well-rounded human being, and that's how you get to the next level.
Absolutely. Why do you think more people, and then we'll go, why do you think more people don't treat their friends or their intimate partners or their relationships like a team?
I don't know. I think it could be fear. It could be lack of vulnerability and like ego of if you want to play on the same team. Well, the other thing, you got to be playing the same game, right? The only way to play on the same team is to be playing the same game. So maybe that's not happening.
Right.
Right. I know you and Emilia and Taryn and I are playing the same game. We want to be in love forever. So,
Right.
This is a never ending game, but I don't know. I think also the development. Like, how developed are you as a person with yourself? How patient are you with yourself? How much do you understand yourself? How much do you know your triggers? How much do you know what annoys you? Right? Like, that sort of thing, too. Being very honest of, I'm not perfect. Far from it.
Right.
So I can never expect somebody else to be and then pick apart their flaws.
Right.
Right? Like, I think that's an important thing, too.
Do you think in the past when you weren't a team mentality, you had core aspirations, core values, or core beliefs in conflict? When you say the same game, I think that's what you're referring to, right? Is having aligned, like, because if you don't have similar goals, if you don't have the same goal, right? Like you two both moving, you have the same goal. You both want to move to New Hampshire, to the same place. I think that's what another thing is core aspirations, core values, and core beliefs. If you don't feel like you're on a good team and it's not a good team effort, I would check in with that. I mean, if you and I had two separate, completely different missions, of course we wouldn't be able to divide and conquer for a greater end state. I think that's another critical
And you might
piece.
not feel like I'm committed to it.
Right.
Right. That's the other thing. Like if you're in a relationship and you subconsciously think it's not going to succeed, you're not going to put in the effort. It's not going to be worth having the tough conversations.
Right. And that's all subconscious.
Yeah.
So it'll just, you might not even consciously put in less effort, but subconsciously you'll put in less effort.
We said we were going to tell them one thing. We told them many things.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, I opened 5 spots. I believe I have 3 remaining for one-on-one mindset coaching, peak performance coaching. If you want to be more confident, if you want to be more productive, if you want to be happier, you want to have more joy in your life, there are some ways that we can accomplish that. We just got to dig into who you are, who you think you are, what you're acting like, and where you want to get out of life. So if you are into that, just reach out at Never Quit Kid. I would love to chat with you. I spent a lot of time growing Next Level Podcast Solutions, and we want to make sure that we go back to the people who make this possible for us, the NLU family. So we are really leaning into working one-on-one with you guys.
Kevin and I have done a lot of networking outside of the Next Level family, and we realized that honestly that's not where we want to put as much of our effort. And so that's why Kevin's opening up mindset coaching again, and so am I. So we both opened 5 spots. I'm very fortunate to have already filled 3 of them, but there's 2 spots left. So if you are interested in not just group coaching's great, but if you want more one-on-one with Kevin or myself, reach out. DM us on Instagram. Our Instagrams are in the show notes, at NeverQuitKid and at Lazarus88. At the end of the day, Kevin and I have a lot of people in our corner who I think are living a far more aligned, fulfilled life. We're not going to teach you what you should be doing, and we're not going to tell you what you should be doing. What we're going to do is help you really uncover who you want to be, and then help guide you on how to get there. It's if you've never done coaching before, I think dipping your toe in with this is probably a great place to start.
Yeah, and that's one of the reasons we have it set up the way we do.
Yeah.
We know a lot of our listeners may have never had a one-on-one coach before.
Right.
And the idea and the thought behind that is super overwhelming, and it's like, I don't want to get yelled at, I don't want to get, that's not the way we coach. Our goal at the end of the day is to help you get to the next level.
Right.
No matter where you are, there is a next level. We want to help you get there, and we do it no BS, but it's heart-driven.
Right.
One of my clients said that recently. She said, one of the reasons I like working with you versus my last coach is I literally would cry at the end of every call. She's like, that doesn't happen with you. I said, it should never happen. Unless we're digging into old stuff. But I'm never going to make you feel bad about yourself. That's not my goal.
No,
That's
not at all. It's the opposite.
Always.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, we hope you appreciated this. We hope you enjoyed this. Up next, tomorrow, we have last week's Meetup Monday with the amazing Dr. Taryn McCarthy. She talked about the 3 permissions of self-empowerment. It was absolutely fire. She is an amazing human being, a client and a friend of ours, and she's always there to support us and lift us up.
Yeah, the story she ended with was so powerful.
So make sure you check that out. As always, we do not have fans, we have family. We will talk to you tomorrow.
Talk to you soon.
Bye.